Welcome,
Ooh.
everybody, to Apartment Theater, the show that's always on time, right on time, every time. We are missing Dani again. She has been kidnapped by a masked man in a
Yeah, she
van,
has.
and she is trying to escape from the basement. Unfortunately,
Um, she won't answer the phone.
she won't answer the phone, and
She won't answer
she
it. She doesn't know what to do with it. She's too modern for that, actually. I don't even think she knows what a telephone ringing is.
I
Um,
Yeah, it's the problem
weirdly.
is that she won't try to do anything besides just clawing at the walls and
And
yeah, it just
screeching.
yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of alarming. How she still has
Also,
lungs?
yeah,
I
and
don't
also
know.
she kind of likes the room too. She kind of
Yeah.
likes being in there. She's like, it's really quiet in here. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's a
So
reprieve from, John and the rest of the world, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
John's relieved. So,
Yeah.
uh, God. But yes, we are talking today about a movie called The Black Phone. This is a movie that I've been wanting to watch for a while now,
Same, same.
and I'm surprised that it took us 3 years to
To
get
watch
to
it?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
So we started the podcast in 2021.
Yeah, we did. But we didn't
Yeah.
start with new movies. We started with garbage.
Yeah, and we've still been watching garbage.
We've still been watching garbage, yeah.
Just garbage, so much garbage. And it's like, you guys intentionally picked garbage? No, we just wanted to watch it. It looked cool. That
Yeah,
was
it's
it.
cool. Um,
So, yeah. So, yeah,
yeah.
Black Phone here. I'll read the synopsis here and then we'll get
Oh,
into it.
yeah, yeah, get into
Never
it.
talk to strangers. Finney Shaw, a shy but clever 13-year-old boy, is abducted by a sadistic killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of little use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victims, and they are dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
one of the few times where the description actually fit with the movie this
Yeah,
time.
that's pretty much precisely what happens.
All right, well, that's the podcast.
Yeah, I like that's what happens. Like they really didn't leave any mystery to that. They tell you straight up that, the previous victims, which is the ghost of the previous victims, um, talk through this disconnected phone that's connected to a concrete wall. Um, there is like a weird, I guess, sort of mystery about it. Like,
It's a very supernatural aspect of it.
yeah, like why this guy puts has a phone down there to begin with.
Well,
Um,
so this is based off of a story by Joe Hill,
mhm.
who is Stephen King's son.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I've heard of
So
him.
he has also written a book called Horns that had a
Yeah,
adaptation with Daniel Radcliffe in it.
that was good.
There's another book that he did that was Heart Shaped Box. He also did one called Lock and Key, which is a graphic novel series that had a Netflix adaptation. And there's tons out there. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
based off of a short story, and it's not the short story and the movie aren't too similar.
Oh.
Like the concept of it is there, where he's stuck in a basement and he's trying to get out, and some of the story beats are there. Like the one where spoilers, the killer's brother goes down the stairs. And it's like, oh my god, the killer guy, that's my brother, and then the brother kills him.
Yeah, we all knew
Yeah, like
that's gonna
that
happen.
happens, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not quite as like um allegory or like symbolism about like being abused and stuff. And
Yeah. Like it's pretty just like straightforward in terms of like story, I guess. Like it's definitely very 80s slash early 90s feeling with a fucking rotary phone on the wall.
I was
Um,
saying, because it's set in the 70s,
oh, is it?
I
I
like
guess that
that
makes
it
sense.
I
Yeah.
like that it's they have the wood paneling
Yeah.
everywhere, because
Mm-hmm.
it's so like, yeah, it would,
Yes.
I mean, not that we know, but you know, like you see pictures of like your parents and stuff, and you see the backgrounds, and it's all brown. Everything looks
Yeah.
brown and gross.
That
And that,
wood fucking paneling.
honestly, that carried on through our lives
It did.
in the '90s. Like it
Yeah.
was still there.
Yeah, because my grandparents' house still had wood paneling in the back room for like at least when I was a kid, and they didn't change it until I was in like high school. And my grandfather was obsessed with it and would not let my grandmother take all of the wood paneling down, so they only took half of it down, and so there was just like wood paneling halfway up the walls.
I feel like it's gonna make a comeback on wood paneling because
I think it is too.
Because like, I mean, people, you know, they collecting vinyl and things like that, and
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing people like I've seen people that are like in their 20s, you know, like college kids, because I live near like a college campus,
Yeah.
and they're dressed like how I dressed in middle school.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, isn't this cool? Like how I'm dressed. I'm like, people made fun of me for dressing like that, and now it's cool.
Now it's
what
cool.
The fuck?
Yeah, the wildest thing about when I was working on a college campus was like any group of like kids I would look at, like these college students, I had no idea what fucking decade I was in. I was like, okay, I'm like, there's a couple over there. They literally look like someone reached into an 80s movie and just ripped them out and then just like stuck them on a college campus. There's another like group of kids in the back that look like they're from like the 70s or some shit. I'm like, what? I feel like I'm in a goddamn time warp. Like, I'm not mad about it necessarily. Like, everyone very clearly has their own like style and stuff, but like, it was wild. It was the craziest thing to witness. Now I just work on a medical campus, and that's everybody just wears scrubs, and so everybody looks the fucking same for the most part. Everybody's boring. No.
So, so with the movie here, so it's about a killer who abducts children, and it looks like it's mainly just like little boys.
Young boys, yeah.
Yeah, young boys.
Like preteen boys, yeah.
The killer wears masks and stuff, and that's to symbolize abuse, because the dad in this movie, which I was like thinking to myself, like, wow, we picked a different trauma this time. We usually do mama trauma, but this time we did daddy trauma.
Still parental trauma.
Yeah, there were some instances that I was like, oh wait, I had to go through this as well, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like accidentally being loud and pissing off your dad. That happened so many times. Because I'd get home late too, and it got to the point where, like for the floorboards and stuff, because there's certain parts of the floorboard would squeak, so I would have to like go on the edges, go by the walls, like, and go by that way.
Literally tiptoe through your house so that way you didn't piss someone off.
Yeah, and then if I were to go pee, I would pee against the bowl, not like in the bowl, so that it wouldn't be loud. And then
you know what's funny about that? At least
I wear headphones because of it too. Like everything I do, I wear headphones because I'm afraid I'm gonna be too loud for anybody. Like in the apartment building, I don't think anyone can even hear me, and I wear headphones anyway, just in case.
What's funny about you like peeing against the bowl and instead of like in the water is that literally you could have just sat down and it would have muffled the sound. Like probably more efficiently.
And you hear the tap. Like it's just I had a system for it, but every time I'm like maybe the toilet won't be loud when I flush it, and then it isn't. Like
it's just a toilet. Also, if somebody gets mad at you for like using the bathroom in the middle of the night, that's on them.
I got yelled at for taking a shower at 4 p.m.
What the fuck?
Yeah, my dad was like, "There's no reason for you to be taking a shower at 4 p.m." And I'm like, just woke up. I hadn't had a job at the time, but I was just like, dude, I didn't want to shower when no one was home because then I was afraid that I was gonna slip in the shower and die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, well, and now I mean I live by myself. I'm like, well, if I slip in the shower, it's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in the cards, I guess.
Yeah.
But
You just better hope that, you know, you wake up. You might have brain damage after, but...
you know, who doesn't have a little brain damage?
That's
If my
true.
testicles are full of microplastics, my brain's full of damage too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So there's abuse with the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad my dad doesn't listen to this. I'd probably get a fucking phone call from him. Like, what the fuck? Like, hey, you did this. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But yeah, no. So yeah, he's an alcoholic, and he's clearly going through his own traumas because like his wife went
Died.
insane,
Yeah.
seeing visions and stuff, and I guess she killed herself.
Yeah, it's alluded to that she's like a medium, I guess. Like, she talks to spirits and things, and he says that, like, the ghosts weren't real and that the, you know, visions or dreams that she was having told her to, like, kill herself. But I'm of the mind that I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was probably you saying that they weren't real and you not believing her, that it put so much stress on her that, like, she felt useless to the world and so ended up, you know,
He's
doing what she
probably
did.
knocking
like-
her around too. Anytime she said something crazy, he was probably punching her and shit.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, we never, like, get hard evidence of that, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's what was happening with the way he was treating the kids, especially the way he was treating his daughter, like, who was experiencing a lot of, like, similar things. Like, he took a lot of anger out on her, and she was a tough little cookie.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god, yeah, they get in a fight,
Dude.
with the kids or whatever.
yeah.
And I was just like, I'm pretty sure my sister would do this for me. Both of my sisters.
Yeah. Dude,
My
she was
younger
dope as
sister's
fuck.
a loose cannon. So if some group of people were trying to beat the shit out of me, I'm pretty sure she would tear their eyeballs out. So
Good for her. As she should.
I mean, I would do the same for. I mean, I maybe wouldn't try to claw someone's eyes out, but like, yeah, if someone was like messing with her, I'd try my best, you know. Same with
Yeah.
my older sister, but I don't think anyone wants to mess with my older sister. She can be really scary despite how small she is.
Good for her. She deserves it. She deserves to be scary.
Yeah, God. It's like, cause she's with like a pretty built like firefighter guy too, and he's scared of her. Oh my God, it's
That's
so
funny. Yeah,
But,
no, I really like, God, I can't remember what the girl's name is. The younger
the little
sister.
girl's name.
Because his name is Finny, or Finn.
Her name is Gwen.
Gwen, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked the kids. I liked them as characters. I like, you know, that we saw that Finn, you know, is the Shire older boy or older brother who, like, gets picked on, but he has, you know, a friend who, like, kicks total ass and, like, sticks up for him. I do think it's a little weird that Robin got kidnapped, his, like, tough friend.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird that he got kidnapped. I'm like, I get plot-wise, like, why we decided that he did, but I don't know, like, because
he comes off as like a tough guy and doesn't trust anybody.
yeah.
But he also seemed like somebody who, like, if they didn't mess with him, like, he was kind to them. So
Yeah,
like, it was just,
true.
If he just saw some guy, like, stumbling around,
Yeah, and having a hard
dropping
time.
shit, it's
yeah.
like, oh, dude, like, I gotta help this guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's clearly in trouble, and he's no threat to me.
Yeah.
And I think he probably hit some of the kids with the car.
Oh, yeah, he probably did.
Yeah, like there's probably like more extreme measures that he took, but yeah, he was just kidnapping these kids in like broad daylight, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how are were you just grabbing children in broad daylight? But
That's
then
just,
again,
that was the 70s, man.
there's so many documentaries about just being kidnapped
Yeah.
right in front of everybody, and they don't do anything.
Yeah,
I think
there
it's a lot of it's like a
was.
bystander effect.
Yeah, some of it could be
Where,
bystander effect, or it's that you're like so used to seeing kids and other people around that you just don't even notice them anymore or like pay
yeah,
attention to them.
yeah.
Um, but because that just reminded me that there was a little girl who got abducted, I think in like the 70s or 80s, that like lived near the house that I grew up in. And like there's a park dedicated to her. And it's
Jesus.
yeah. Wow, there's like a fucking monument to her. I always forget about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that park was like for her. I can't remember what her name was. I think it was like Alice or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, like that's because that's where the whole like stranger danger thing started, was because kids were getting fucking kidnapped and shit.
Yeah, it was usually like somewhere, I don't know, middle of nowhere, whatever
Mm-hmm.
place, and it would pick up traction, and then people would think, oh, if it's happening there,
It can happen anywhere.
this seemingly innocent place, yeah, it could just happen.
Yeah.
It could be happening anywhere.
Dude, one
And
of pretty sure one of my coworkers almost got fucking kidnapped this morning.
what
Like,
the fuck?
yeah, not even kidding. So, well, one of my like lab mates, she was telling us the story, and she's a hospital aide as well. So she tends to like help people navigate where they need to be in the hospital because hospitals are confusing. So she's used to helping people. So this woman like singles her out of a crowd and is like, "Hey, I need you to like, can you help me like go to this other hospital?" Which was in like walking distance of where they were, maybe like a 10-minute walk or something like that. And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll help you go over there." And the girl's like, "Oh," the other woman is like, "Okay, well, we're gonna drive." And my coworker's like, "Oh, okay." And the woman goes, "But I can't drive. Can you drive?"
Nope.
And fucking my coworker's like, no, I can't drive. She can drive. She doesn't want to drive somebody else's car." And the woman goes,
Yeah, because it's a huge liability.
"Yeah." And the woman's like, "Okay, well, I can drive. I just like kind of didn't want to." And literally, my coworker was getting into this woman's car, and I'm like, "Honey, what?" And like that woman's story about like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get to see my husband and blah blah, and I don't know how to get there and blah blah." And I'm like, "What?" And finally my coworker was like, "Listen, like this is like, if you just go this way, like you can find, the like whatever front desk, and they'll help you. They know better, like blah blah blah." And I'm like, no part of that were you like, my ass is about to get kidnapped. Like, you were almost in the fucking car. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, honey.
I got into many people's cars for the cell phone job that I had because they needed help with their Bluetooth getting connected
Oh,
to
God.
their car. And every single time I get in their car and I close the door, I remember one time one of the customers was like, I'm not going to do this, but, I could easily just kidnap you right now. You do realize that, right? And I'm like, yeah, honestly, I really wouldn't care if you did kidnap me at this point.
Listen, man, I got nothing else left, so
I got
have
nothing better
fun.
to do. If anything, it'll be entertaining to
Uh,
sit through, but yeah.
yeah, I was literally thinking through the like first, I guess, like couple of days that the kid had been kidnapped. I would be like, "Oh fuck, I get a vacation? Oh my god, thank you."
Can I just get a comfier mattress,
Can I
please? If
just
you just go
can I
by
get a
my apartment and
blanket?
grab my
Like,
bed, here's my keys. Like, just don't tell anyone I'm here.
yeah, like
Yeah, I'll eat the eggs. It's fine.
it's fine.
Just
Like
don't murder
that was
me.
my literal thought. I was like, oh man, I have vacation. Wow,
God,
cool.
we are terrible.
We are. Um, also, okay, the thing that annoyed the shit out of me in this movie is it keeps going. This is the like plot device that fucking kills me for this. Like everything else in the movie is fine. Like we haven't really talked about it. Like the synopsis is the movie. Like
Sure, yeah.
for the most part. Like, but the thing that kills me is so the front door has a combination lock on it, right?
Yeah.
And he gets the code for it from one of the spirits or whatever on the phone,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, because he wrote it on the wall. There's a back door. I get that it's like right behind the guy.
Yeah, but he
But
did
it's
escape at one point though,
right
and
there.
he got fucking decked.
He did.
Still.
But I'm like, if you have to walk past the guy to get to the front door, to me, I
And there was a
feel,
dog too.
and there was a dog. I feel like I would have just tried for the back door.
Well, because like
Like-
he might have. Well, because the other thing too is like he might have had like a fence area
In
too.
the
He
back.
might not have been
I mean,
able
the
to-
entire yard was fenced,
Yeah,
like front
So-
and back. It looked like.
yeah. I think he was more of if he goes in the back. I think there was like woods and stuff. If he goes in
Maybe.
the back and he's trying to like call for help or whatever, like no one's gonna see him in the backyard.
Maybe,
And then, but
or
if he runs in the front, maybe someone will see him, but
yeah,
no one helps him anyway.
or it's because there's also a combination lock on the back door, but the ghost only knows the code to the one on the front door.
Ooh, yeah. I was thinking like, why would you have a combination lock? Why wouldn't you just have a key
Right?
that you have on you? I'm like,
Right?
he's
I feel like
gonna
it's a
get out.
weird trophy.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Or it could be like here is something to tempt you to get out of.
Yeah, because you
the
you know the combination for this, so here's like go ahead and try. Because he did have
Yeah.
the like whole naughty boy game or whatever the hell.
Yeah, so he would leave the door open and
Mhm.
he you know, oh, you're gonna come up and sneak up the stairs, but I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and kill you if you come up.
Yeah.
One of the things that people were saying too, with Ethan Hawke playing the
Mhm.
grabber, which I think Ethan Hawke is a great actor.
Mhm.
Honestly, I know that's not really a controversial take.
Mhm.
Wow, you think Ethan Hawke's a great actor? Wow, do you also think Citizen Kane's a good movie? Like, I know it's stating the obvious here, but
Yeah.
one of the things that people were saying, and I was noticing it when I was watching it,
Mhm.
dude is fit.
Yeah.
Like when he was sitting up there and his shirt
Mhm.
was like unbuttoned and shit, and like you could see
Mhm.
how like muscular the dude was.
Yeah.
I was like, if you took the mask off and this was a different movie, I think he would have left the theater people just drenched.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm like, damn, I hope I age like Ethan Hawke because that man, god damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were like, oh no, Ethan Hawke's gonna lock me in his basement. Oh, what should I
Oh
do?
no.
But I like that's the thing that like fucks with people though too, because there's
Mhm.
so many of like the killer is just like this like oh he's this overweight balding guy with glasses, and I'm that's not me. I just want to throw that out there 'cause it just fucking described myself. I'm not overweight. I mean, like if you go by like the BMI chart, but like I don't know. I mean, I got like whatever.
The BMI
It's not
chart is
me.
fake anyway, so.
Yeah, it is. It's no one should go off of that.
No.
But yeah, no. There's a lot of stories of like he seemed like a normal guy until
Oh, yeah.
he wasn't, and it was good to see someone that yeah he seemed weird. It was still like he seems too squirrely of a guy.
Yeah.
if he kind of chilled out a little bit, like if it made it to where he was like more trusting in a
Mm-hmm.
way. In the story, he's not called the Grabber, he's called the Fat Man.
Oh.
Yeah, so
So,
unless I remember incorrectly on that, but yeah, no, he was like a totally different character,
hmm.
except for like the magician thing. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
like spray him in the eyes or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Which I I like that we never truly saw his face and that he was kind of always wearing a mask.
yeah, because
And
it
like
detaches
he
from
was
the top
alluding.
and the bottom,
Yeah.
and yeah, and you can switch it up and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
So I actually kind of liked that.
I was a little worried that the masks were gonna be kind of goofy, like
Yeah.
because there's definitely like the yep, no one would ever actually have this. This is
Mhm.
just a horror movie prop. It's like Annabelle, where you
Yeah.
see it and you're like, clearly that's meant for a horror movie. You made it
Mhm.
try to look scarier instead of it
Yeah.
being a thing that someone would actually have,
Mhm.
and letting that be scary. That's someone that looks normal or something that looks normal.
Yeah.
Like when we watched Humpty Dumpty, and it's like that is the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. No one would
Yeah.
realistically own that or have it
Mhm.
near them ever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks scary. Why would you
Mhm.
keep it?
Yeah.
God, I forgot we watched that movie. That was 100 episodes ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was worried. It was and like they look cool, but yeah, it
Mhm.
was. I was thinking like I kind of would have liked this to have been an animated movie where like he was like changing his face all the time
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like or maybe like a stop motiony kind of thing too.
Mhm.
But I know that those things take forever, so
They
I get it
do.
that they wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do something like that. But
Yeah.
plus, it's a Blumhouse production thing, so they usually go on like small budgets to get the biggest
Yeah.
profit possible on it.
Yeah.
So
I do like that the mask very much seem custom made to like do what like he made them. At
yeah,
least that was the like vibe that I kind of got from it was that like he took time to make them to like make them have these like expressions of
he probably
emotion.
used them for his magic acts. Like he was probably like a
Probably.
failed magician, and he probably
Oh yeah.
scared children.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Um, definitely. I do also like that like there's never any connection or like story plot where it's like oh he's a magician and so that's how he's finding the kids and like who he wants and blah blah blah. It's literally just like yeah he's a magician but he's just grabbing kids off the street like
yeah.
it doesn't seem like he's being very like picky choosy about the ones that he grabs
Because he'll pick
because
popular kids, he'll pick bullies,
yeah
he'll pick the bullied, which is
yeah
our character.
uh-huh so like he was I think it was just like a roulette type thing where it's like oh there's one alone let me get him like so I kind of liked that aspect of it that there wasn't a sort of like stereotypical like serial killer type that he was going after.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of nice.
I was
Nice
thinking
little
that he was
change up.
chopping up the kids too and feeding them to
Mhm.
the dog, but
Yeah, I'm glad that like kind of wasn't the case, or at least like as far as we know.
yeah, because
Um,
there was the freezer that he breaks into that
yeah,
had a bunch of like
meat and stuff
steaks
in
and
it.
stuff,
Yeah,
but
which those clearly looked like cow steaks or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I would have tried to be friends with the dog.
I try
Like,
to be friends with every dog that I see.
yeah, he
Same
was
with cats.
he was a cute doggo.
Honestly, I think
Samson,
any
I think
animal.
that's what his name is. Yeah.
I just like to just yeah, let me befriend this animal here. Like if I'm
Mhm.
at a party and there's an animal, I'm gonna go to the
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
it's just what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did feel Which, like, I'm probably not remembering Silence of the Lambs very well, but there was, like, parts of this that felt kind of Silence of the Lammy to me.
The, I mean,
Like,
kinda.
um,
Yeah, I don't think you're totally off base there because yeah, no, they're like there's the detectives and stuff they're looking
mm-hmm.
for this person who's kidnapping people, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he was kidnapping people in Silence of the Lambs.
Yes,
But
he
he was
was.
eating people.
He was eating people, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, cuz I like the duality of like the detectives getting into the house, but then like it's clearly not the right house.
yeah,
Like it is, but it isn't. And I don't know, there was something about which I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs in a very long time. That though that like just juxtaposition felt like Silence of the Lambs to me, or like reminded me of it for some reason. I don't know why,
yeah.
but
Like the
it
ticking
did.
clock element of it,
Yeah,
where it's like
yeah.
they
It's like,
need to get
oh, are they
there in
actually too
time.
late, or like because that was like my first thought of like, oh, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like we're looking into like her dreams, but they're actually the past, and they actually got in there too late, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And that's not the case.
he does break out.
He does break out.
And yeah, they do get there. Like honestly,
Yeah.
they didn't even need to get there in time because he got out on his own. They just
Yeah.
happened to be there at the same
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ends with the kids just sitting there in
Mhm.
the ambulance thing, and the dad's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I was
Mm.
so worried about you," and they're just
Yeah.
stone faced. They don't care because they know
Mhm.
that it's just an act, and he doesn't
Mhm.
care. But I'm also like, maybe this changes his ways on it.
Maybe.
But they're also like skeptical about it too because they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
we've
you
seen
were a
you
piece of
try.
shit, Dad. Like.
It's like we've seen you be nice before, and we're
Mhm.
just waiting for you to blow up on us again.
Yeah. I do like that Finney also has a spiritual connection, and
Yeah,
that like he probably inherited some of his mother's spiritual whatever that she had, and it wasn't just Gwen who got some of it. Gwen
yeah,
seems to be more outspoken about it, but you know, Finn has some of it too, which I like. Cuz they make reference like one or two times that the phone doesn't ring and that Finn's the first one who has ever answered it or like been able to answer it
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I like that.
yeah. Because it was just, yeah, like I was saying, it's a little bit different than from the story. I do recommend it, checking out the
Mhm.
story as well. It's in like the Black Phone stories. It used to be
Mhm.
called something else, but then they changed it because when the movie
Mm.
came out, I was like, "Whoa, hey, we got to tell people that it's actually in
Yeah.
here." So, um, but yeah, no, there's some pretty good stories in there. I would recommend it. I mean, Joe
Mhm.
Hill's a pretty good writer too.
Yeah.
So that whole family is writers. Like Stephen King's wife is also a writer. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good for them.
good for them. That I mean, that's a pretty good like running streak you got there. Like three successful
Mhm.
writers back to back like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
kind of insane.
yeah, God. But yeah, no, check out. Honestly, yeah, Black
I
Phone, pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
pretty good. I
I
think
liked
it's
it.
worth a little watch.
Yeah, check it
Kept
out.
kept me entertained the entire time.
Yeah,
So,
it wasn't garbage, which
yeah,
is what
it
we
was good.
usually watch. So
Yeah. It's a good time.
that's why I had to change the description on the podcast. Because it's like, wait, we've been watching like some good movies. We should probably
Mhm.
stop saying that all the movies we watch are garbage.
Yeah, only like 10% of them are good.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
slash I should say 10% of them we like.
yeah. Well, yeah, because now I'm thinking about it. I was like, yeah, actually thinking about it. I think
Like,
there's 13, maybe 14 movies that
I
we've
think so,
liked.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to go through it. Maybe at the end to be like, all right, and here's our ending statistics here. We have 40 good movies and 2,743 movies we fucking hated.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
And ones that we felt mediocre about.
We'll be 70 and still doing this.
Maybe. I hope not. I mean, I hope we're still watching movies and, like, talking shit about them, but I don't know if I'm going to be podcasting about them.
Oh, yes, I can't wait to watch this movie.
This
yeah, we'll be sponsored by
remake.
Bran Flakes. We made it big.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Black Phone, recommended. Oh, there's going to be a sequel.
There is. I
Coming out.
saw that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
how
and I
are
was
you
like-
making a sequel, though?
Yeah, it's same director, so
Because they both died, as far as we know.
yeah, so it's like I don't know. I think if anything, it'll be like an origin story thing or something. But I'm like,
Maybe.
don't do that.
I mean,
That's
I,
not-
I feel like we already know his origin story. Like, he hints that he was locked in the basement, and that the phone never rang when he was down there.
Yeah, and like,
Um,
yeah, because it doesn't specify anything for it. Yeah, it just says untitled sequel.
Yeah.
So
Meh.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess.
yeah, we'll watch it. I'm sure when it comes out in 2025. So there's still a ton of movies that we need to check out.
I
So
cannot wait for Nosferatu to come out.
yes.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, there's also like as time of recording this, Alien Romulus came out as well, and I want to see that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
still need to see Longlegs and Maxine as well. So
Yeah, I need to watch X. No, Maxine. Yeah, it's Maxine.
yeah, because you've seen X
I've
and
seen
you've
X.
seen Pearl.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was not.
Underwhelmed by both.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed by both. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't make them.
Oh no. Mm. How dare you? They probably would have been better. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have
I
been.
don't think
Maybe
they can make a good movie, honestly.
because you don't have the it factor.
Yeah, it being
Titties.
titties. You're right. All right.